rules and regulations, you got to have some non-contact practices. We've been, together, I think, with them after recruiting. For this, I believe, is the fourth week. I think Mike had him for like 2 weeks. And then we came back and had some off-season stuff for about 3 weeks. Wanted to get started, which really what we're doing this week isn't any different than what we did last week. It's all, we're still lifting a lot. We're installing things. We've been able to meet with them, for a couple hours a week the previous 3 weeks. That's not a whole lot different than what we're doing this week. Can go do some instructional stuff outside. It is a little bit more beneficial to be able to go out there and count it as one of the 15 days, because we can use a ball and stay out there for some real non-competitive stuff. So that's where we're currently at. We'll do the same stuff tomorrow, and we're not out there very long, and it doesn't even really look like football. But Saturday we'll turn the page and start having a little bit of resistance with each other. So you guys know the schedule. That's why we're doing that. I haven't really explained that to anybody. There was an article written yesterday, I guess, that explains everything else that we're doing in spring. So I'm not going to go into it. If you guys got questions, we will we can talk about them. But excited about this group, 2018 group. Probably the most veterans, obviously offensively the most veteran unit that we've had since I've been here. Defensively, feel good about it just based on Gibby going into the 5th year. It seems like he's been here for a while. He's been here 6 years. He's been here forever, but coordinator aspect of it for the 6th year gives everybody comfort. Just like where the guys are right now, and wanted to get started. So looking forward to a good spring. I like how it's broke up. I think it will reduce the monotony of spring football that everybody deals with. You can say, well, how can you get tired of practicing football? Well, I can assure you these guys get tired of practicing football in the spring now. So being able to have breaks with spring practice and with Easter break, I think will break up that monotony aspect of it, and then we'll finish earlier than we ever have, which means we'll have more time to heal and get ready for the actual season. So, the 6th and 7th of April should be a good spring weekend. You're flipping coins on whether the weather is going to be appropriate or not. Nothing you can do about that, so you just deal with it and roll through it. But it'll be a good weekend. Obviously, it's a big weekend with WVU Athletics and WVU Medicine Children's, the relationship that exists there. My man Wolf here does a great job of cultivating this relationship as well. But the whole weekend's going to be about the kids, obviously football, and then the kids as well. Put something out on my Twitter a little bit ago, just as far as the partnership that football has with Jeff Hostetler, who that relationship's existed for many years, and want to continue to strengthen that relationship. He does such a great job over at the hospital, with his foundation, the Haas Foundation. He built the Family Resource Center over there, which I've been over there hanging out a little bit. I know Wolf's been over there. A lot of our players go over there, every week to show support, and we're trying to strengthen that relationship and do even more than we have, and do even more than we're currently doing. This is an opportunity to be able to do that. Try to raise some money with an event at Kegler's on Friday night, and then there's a 5K run in the morning. We're going to do my walk. I'm old and broke down and stressed out, so I go on 2.5 mile walks all the time, and so people are going to be able to do that. And obviously just raise money for the Haas Foundation to be able to do things for the hospital over there. So that's awesome. And then just like we have every single year, the $10 ticket price to get into the game, that's going straight to WVU Medicine Children's as well. So we're excited about that weekend to wrap up spring before we end up finishing the last couple of weeks off academically. So that's where we're at currently. you know, from staffing perspective, you know, everybody understands, you know, added Marquell Blackwell, you know, wish Tony Dews the best of luck in the NFL. He's always wanted to be there, so he has an opportunity to do that. I don't get bent out of shape whatsoever if guys make moves that they've always dreamed of doing, you know, and then it's my job to see if we can try to hire somebody better. And really like Coach Blackwell. He's, you know, got a great football background, you know, great recruiting presence to him. So he's already fit in nicely, like where he's at, you know. And then, you know, we've added some good young coaches as well. You know, you'll see some familiar faces out there from you know, Julian Miller on the D line to Mike Molinari, you know, that can help out with some specialists. Tyler Orlowski on the O-line. You know, you got some strength guys that you're going to recognize out there as well. So good West Virginia presence, former player presence, that anytime you have opportunities to be able to get those guys on board, I think it's important to be able to do that. So like where the staff's at, a lot of continuity with some new blood as well. And that's about it. I think that's all I got. Take a few questions here before we wrap it up.
Nuts and bolts of who can play, who can't play this spring. I mean, injuries.
I'll tell you who's out for spring. David Long's out. You know, he had his shoulder rehabbing nicely. The worst thing in the world that happened to Lamont McDougal was having shoulder surgery the same day as David Long. So they rehab together like every day. And David is an absolute machine, and Lamont is young and big, so he struggles every day. Those two are progressing nicely. They'll be 100% in summer. You know, you'd wish Lamont could go through spring, being young. We don't care if David goes through spring or not. X-Relo had a pec injury. He'll be out for a couple months. Is not going to be able to participate through spring. And that's it. You know, everybody else is good to go, healthy. You know, should be a lot of competition. You know, the 8 or 9 guys that we added, I believe that information's out there, the early enrollees and all that, which adds depth and adds competition. You know, as much as we can get competition in there, the better. You know, side note, grad students that are leaving, you know, Chris Chugnoff is going to graduate and move on. Certainly appreciate everything that he's done for the 4 years that he's been here. Jalil Fields is going to graduate and move on. I think he's got 3 hours. You know, did a good job at everything that we asked him to do since he's been here. Ricky Rogers, grad student, moving on. You know, can't say enough about those guys. They're, you know, 4-year guys that you know, they graduated. What more? That's kind of the goal, is it not? So, you know, those guys are going to move on, and wish them the best of luck with whatever they decide to do, which I don't think any of them really has a real option or a real you know, sound decision made as far as what they're going to do with the rest of their life. But always be a Mountaineer, man. You come here and you get a good degree. All 3 of them had great GPAs. Then they can come back and they'll be welcome here as often as they want.
How's Will been doing since his...
Good. Yeah, he you know, he kind of played a little soft toss in the bowl game, you know, out there. But you know, he took the month of January and they started throwing with him. It was interesting in talking to the doctors and all that. I mean, you say, well, he's good, he can grip a ball, so just go ahead and start ripping it. But if you don't use these muscles up here for about 6 months, then you need to be smart, because if you get out there and start ripping it around without these muscles developing, then you can do some real long-term damage. So they put him on a pitch count in January, which, you know, cranked up. And by the time we got here, after recruiting in February, he's been 100% full go. Looks good physically. Sounds good mentally. You know, really is he's exactly what you want in a 5th-year senior. I mean, it's just things are slower to him, and you know, he's out there coaching those other quarterbacks. You know, Jack Allison and Trey Young, he's out there coaching those guys up, which that's what you're after, you know.
Trey Young.
Yeah, what I said. Trey, did I say Trey Young? Has anybody heard of somebody by the name of that?
It's an epidemic.
Yeah, evidently it is. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
heck of a player. But Trey Lowe. I'm sorry, Trey Lowe.
On that topic, one less than maybe I think people expected when they walk in today, but just Trey Young / Trey Lowe. Does he make? It's your fault. Does he make? Does he factor in? Is he still playing outfield?
He is. He is. We got to remind Maisie who pays the bills. He traveled with. If he ain't got anything going on, he can go practice as much as he wants to. That's fine with me. I mean, he's done it his whole life. He's been a multi-sport star. He's a coach's kid. He's smart. He's got great presence to him. You know, he's mature. You know, he traveled with them to Myrtle last weekend, and they played 4 games, I believe. And you know, he didn't play, so I think he's a developmental guy for them too.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, but the way that works, you know, if we got practice this weekend, then he's probably going to be here practicing this weekend. If they're going to use him in a game, then I may let him skip a practice in order for them to be able to play him in a game. And I've talked to Randy about this, but he's pretty important to what our future is here. So there is expectation of him being able to, and he has, and he does. He sits in all the meetings, and you know, he's got a great attitude. He's exactly what you want in a kid that really actually should be in high school.